Awesome. Thank you very much, Emily, as always. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Phil Brooks. I oversee workforce development efforts at the University City Science Center. Welcome to What's the Next Move? This is Tech Talent Go. What's the Next Move was started last year, really just to talk to not only employers, but nonprofit organizations, city government, and a whole host of people to really identify what's the next move for different organizations. We're all in a very interesting state in our lives. We're all in a very interesting state as it relates to the nation. So really, this is an opportunity for us to talk to those individuals and really just try to understand the vision and what the actual next steps are for certain folks, especially as it relates to workforce development, the future of work, where things are going to be in the next several years, where they're going to be tomorrow, that type of thing. So we're really excited to bring to you several panelists who are really, really amazing already. I've had a chance to talk with some of them. We got a chance to do our AV check yesterday. And I really want to dive into kind of what their organizations do and what some of the programs that they have set up for tech, specifically in developing tech talent within the Philadelphia region. So I'm really excited to bring you the next individuals that I will talk about, and then we'll move on. So the way this session will work, I think we'll be wrapping things up around 4:55 or so, but we'll go ahead and do introductions of the panelists. I'll kick it over to them in a few moments to introduce themselves. They're going to give you a little bit of information about themselves, about their organizations, what they're doing. I have several questions already lined up for them, and then we definitely want to answer any questions from the audience. So we have a pretty intimate crew tonight. If you have questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions of our panelists. So with all that out the way, I definitely want to introduce our first panelist, and he can give you some general information about himself in an introduction. Andrei, I will pass it over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Phil. Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Andrei Lemeshevski. I'm CEO of Growik. Growik is a skills and job training platform, and we pretty much have emphasis on digital designers at this point. But to kind of just go back to tell more about myself and why it's all started, I came to United States in 2002, which is what, 17, 19 years ago. I pretty much done all my business in real estate, and that's pretty much how I was able to afford and gain financial independence. But because I was immigrant, because I was a college dropout, there was always that of the learning curve that present in my life, and that pretty much gave me a lot of hard situation. The circumstance that I never had the college finish. I was a dropout, I was immigrant. And I think by becoming financially dependent, by getting all things done on my side, I think there was always this passion to bring this lifestyle to other people, to just show them how they can change their life by getting some very important things such as education. So even though I was never able to finish my college, but I was able to achieve many other things on my own, I think is my mission, life mission now, is to help people so they can achieve more financial independence, to do things what they want to do in life. And I think that's how Growik idea was born. And we concentrate heavily on underserved and underrepresented people. Doesn't matter if you're immigrant or you're from your local neighborhood, underserved, underprivileged. The idea is that the education has to be, and not only education, education and career development, because I'm looking at this issue as one. Because again, what's the point of getting educated if you can make anything with this education? And that's pretty much was my main reason why I dropped out of the college, because I didn't see the future why I do this, because I think it was all inefficient. It didn't go anywhere. So we tackle both issues, education and career development. And the goal here is to try to make it efficient and affordable. So affordable part is one. We're trying to partner with as many folks on that side. But as far as efficiency, We developing some high technology tools of customized learning, personalized learning, artificial intelligence in education, and some other cool technologies that will allow in the future our students to get to their goal in most efficient, fast, and affordable way. So that's the idea behind the Growing. We launched this initiative, we launched this company 1 year ago. So far, we have the first cohort going. We expect our students to graduate within next month and a half. And with that, we already we've done some training and have actually people who are who have their resumes and portfolios ready for their next chapter in life, which is go directly with our help as well to hiring managers, to recruiters, and finally make this dream come true of growing, to get these people from point A to point B, which is finally getting their job, start getting their money, provide for their families, and just grow financially and otherwise.
And thank you for bringing that up. The connection between education and career development is critically important. We'll definitely dive more into that as we move along in our conversation. Next on my list, I'd love to introduce Shaniqua Rudd. And if I'm getting this correctly, you're the fundraising director for Access to Education. Passing it over to you.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, so I'm Shaniqua Rudd. I am the fundraising director at Access to Education Foundation. We were actually just founded this year, and very similar to what Andrei spoke about, really having that mission that focuses on bridging the gap between education and career opportunities for everyone, and big focus on the underserved. I think kind of how Andrei and I connected was because I've worked in the nonprofit industry for about a decade, various fundraising roles, but I've also kind of had this niche and this passion for helping students of color, helping people that come from underserved communities and people who have trouble with access to education, right? Like similar to the foundation in its title. So really with this foundation, being able to partner with an education partner like Growing, with a personal growth platform where people can enroll in tuition-free programs and they can earn certifications in sales associations, user experience, UX, UI design, which we actually have some lovely students on the panel who can speak to their experience for that as well. But our ultimate goal is to be able to provide those who are changing careers, those who are re-entering the workforce, those who are graduating college, maybe those who are graduating high school and lack that affordability. I think our goal is to really be able to provide them with the training and certifications that will be able to give them a fruitful career.
That's amazing. And I think the biggest thing I'm hearing, whether it's fundraising, whether it's getting dollars from the federal government, local government, is that partnerships and cooperation and collaboration is a really, really big component to, those bigger dollars. And, instead of, individuals or organizations fighting over, small pots of money here and there, it's more advantageous that we combine our forces to do a lot more, right? And have a bigger impact. Additionally, and I definitely want to get to this because I'm really excited to introduce them, are participants in the current program. So I'd like to introduce, make sure I get all of this information right, Lynette Muse. Lynette, will you introduce yourself, please?
Okay, yes. We've got my name, Lynette Muse. I recently graduated from UConn. Which was a huge achievement for me because I had actually gone through, I had worked like 3 jobs at a time. I've been paying my own tuition since my sophomore year, and I graduated and I found out that all of the jobs are requiring, 2 years, 5 years of experience to even get into the job. So when I was doing my job searching, I found Growing. And I thought, okay, well, if they need more experience, it's time to find more experience. And I saw this great opportunity to learn more and get those skills that I didn't have a chance to get from there, because I had no, I couldn't afford more school. I didn't know if it would help. So I saw this opportunity to really get into my design skills and to be able to convert that into something that could support me. And I really appreciate the opportunity that I've gotten to really, I guess, hone my skills in this environment, and the chance that I have to get a job that I could not do on my own.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was in the same boat when I graduated X amount of years ago. I graduated and I was like, yeah, I got this degree. I got lab experience. I got all these things. And I reached out to a lab and said, hey, I'm ready to work. And like, hey, you got some experience. I was like, no, I don't. So it's one of those things where I definitely understand that concept. And I think a lot of folks that is a lot of barriers for folks who are just graduating in all different types of industries. And I just want to make sure she is still on here. Our fourth panelist, we have Jenn, right? We have Jenn Ross here with us. If not, that's okay.
I don't think Jenn is here. She was asking for the link today, but I'm not sure if she registered, but she was asking about the link. I know that.
Got it. Okay. If she comes up, we can definitely include her in the conversation. Let's keep going. We definitely have a lot to cover in a short period of time. So both Andrei and Shaniqua, you both talked about GROIC. You both talked about access to education. Can you dive a little bit deeper into kind of like your organization's, your vision, your mission statement, if there is one? You touched on a lot of things, serving underrepresented groups, definitely making access to education, literally access to education, as either free or reduced costs. And I know just in my experience and my work, this is also extremely important, not only for folks who are just graduating, but for working parents, for folks at the career level who are looking to do upskilling, all of the above. So can you touch a little bit more on kind of like the big vision for your organization? Shaniqua, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so right now at Access Ed, as I said, we're brand new. We actually have two programs that we're running right now. One is to be a certified junior UX UI web designer, and the other is our sales associate program. So, for any of our programs, and I'll get to a minute in the growth and the vision for that as well, enrolling in our program is very easy. Prospective students can reach out to me. There's no educational prerequisites, no technical skills required. We do a basic personality test, much less easier than like type A, type B, or Myers-Briggs. And all you need is a laptop with internet access and just the ability to commit to a 4-month program. And as I noted, this program is tuition free. And it's the reason why we really want to partner and advocate for local corporations, sponsors, foundations, individual donors to fund this program so that we can continue to provide these training and education opportunities to those at zero cost. And I think it's no secret that the costs of education are just skyrocketing. I am a 2-time St. Joe's grad, and even with student financial aid and scholarships and all kinds of assistance, I still walked away with a pretty hefty tab. So when you start to think about people like Lynette, who, yes, she's college educated, but she felt like this certification would give her a bump. It's these things that count when you have these opportunities to not add on and add on and add on to your debts. So our program is supported by different volunteers, industry mentors. We're actually connecting with organizations like PYN, getting resumes out there, connecting them to organizations. And I think what is really awesome about our tech program now is that we're kind of in this virtual world where you no longer need to be in the same city as your employer, right? So there's much more opportunity to grow in the tech field. And actually in Philadelphia, startups are coming here and, jobs are growing. So that's just more of what we do. And I'll let Andrei speak more about Growic's capabilities. What I love is that the Growic platform actually enables the student to learn and complete the certification in the courses at their own pace. And because Growic is a turnkey provider, there's that opportunity for us to always switch gears and say, okay, we've had 3 cohorts of tech. Maybe we want people to become real estate agents. Maybe there's a need to address those who work in hospitality, maybe financial analysts, et cetera. There's that flexibility to really change the program and grow it out and ultimately try to reach citizens in urban cities. So.
Yeah, Andrei, can you talk a little bit more about Growic? I mean, we had a conversation talking about the platforms, talking about kind of like the connection and the ability to make sure those tools are available so employers can see the validity, so employers can see kind of like the really strong assets of their participants. Can you dive a little bit more into Growic?
Yeah, so when Growic was launched, actually was founded last year, like a year ago, we wanted to make this a highly technological platform in first place. And the idea behind Growic is that this is a micro learning platform. This is a platform that's built on the bite-sized education where you can go to module 1, module B. It's like your Lego building pieces where you can put your learning path and actual career path together based on the capabilities of this platform, which is again micro learning. You just do everything step by step, and you do with a small size bites. So technology, I would say technology is what would separate us in the future, because right now we just starting to slowly develop this technological base, but within a year or two, we'll have way more capabilities to give the opportunity for our students to make it highly not only personalized, but only customized, because those are two essentially different words. Sometimes they use interchangeably, but personalized is a buzz that used everywhere. We want to make it also customized, where you create your own development, professional learning and career path on your own. You can actually adjust it on your own to add more modules of mentorship, to add more modules of career development, and it's pretty much you can tailor to your own needs. Because I think there's some similar platform being developed, but we working more towards on this customization side of the development. So that's from the technological point. From the general perspective, I pretty much uncovered and gave the whole spiel about why it was fun. It was founded because this idea, which became the mission of the company, to make education and career development efficient and affordable, is pretty much the whole mission leads us to this greater purpose of how can we provide people, meaning our students, the best possible ways to achieve something they want to achieve in more efficient and affordable way. Which means that if we compare traditional education, which again 4 years, maybe $100,000 in student debt, we try to form and create our programs no more than 6 months, and trying to not to go over $6,000. We found that this is the minimum that we have to stick to in order for the student to be able to afford a particular program. So right now we have a UI UX user experience, user interface, digital designer program in 4 months. We're probably going to be expanding to more of the 6 months format, just because we need to give the student more chances to hone on their skills. So I think 6 months format is the longest program we're going to have. So we're probably not going to be going over $6,000 per student, but we always try to think how can we minimize this amount and bring down to even more reasonable amounts, so we can not only charge people up front, but also break this down by monthly payment. And if this program, and I'm sure it will be successful in the long run, will provide the actual job, that means that with a few $1,000s up to $6,000, you can pretty much start your career without taking on all these expensive loans and spending more of the time that needs to be spent on this particular job requirements that you need to. So that's the idea. To again, I would probably going to be repeating myself, but efficiency and affordability, this is two pillars that the whole Grow concept is built for. Plus this technological and advanced part that allows, that will provide the tools to the students to customize their professional and career development journey to how they want it. So that's how we see it.
And that's awesome, because I've heard about flexibility. I've heard about, one's very specific way of doing things, and everyone's way of doing things is different, but the need, the hunger of learning is still there. People got lives, people gotta pay bills, people got kids, people got, caregivers, people got people to look after, people got bus schedules. I know I got bus schedules. It's crazy. So life is crazy. So I'm really digging the flexibility of the program, especially as it relates to just individuals being able to walk through that program. So actually, this is a good transition into our next question. And why technology, right? So we're talking about technology. We're talking about different industries. Why would technology be the cornerstone of your programs? And for you, Lynette, why would technology be something that you home in on? Like, why did you go to UConn for what was it, digital marketing and design, or digital design? Maybe I'm making a title up for you, or your
digital media and design.
Why, what kind of brought you to that? So that's the question for you, Lynette, and for Andrei and Shaniqua. Why tech? Why, I'm also a fellow 10-year nonprofit person, Shaniqua. I've worked with AmeriCorps for 10 years in education, and it's one of those things where it gets ingrained into your literal DNA, and that is a lot of experience. So that transition to technology would be really interesting to talk about. But let's start with you, Lynette. Why choose the digital side? Why choose technology? Why is that important for you, both what you're doing as a career and for you personally?
So as a whole, I chose technology because it's the future. It's where everything is, it's becoming more and more important. And I knew that there would always be, it would always have sort of importance in society, and therefore it would always be a good field to work in.
Yeah.
Personally, I chose it. I specialized in animation originally, and I saw it as a way to combine storytelling and in all of the different ways that you can tell a story, or that you can, set up a vision. So that's also how I got into web design, is because it's all about telling the story of a brand, or telling the story of a group. So
yeah, that's amazing. That marketing component is either it's marketing for yourself, which is really important, right? Your public image, LinkedIn, Facebook, social media, all that, extremely important, right? Mm-hmm. But then if you're working for an organization, you're working for a company, being able to tell that story, that's amazing. That's beautiful. Andrei, why technology? Why is this important for you, both professionally and personally?
Yeah, I think Lynette answered my question, because it's a future. I mean, I can say it more better than she did. But besides that, I think it's just, again, my idea of how how I can show or how we can provide something that I never had. And again, when I was a dropout, actually, I was supposed to be a teacher of history. So it was not a technological space. It's something that my folks did, my classmates, but it was kind of a black box for me. So that's what was fascinating me for all these years. Then in the United States, all these years, I've been a real estate developer. And I'm still am, but it's also doesn't have anything to do with technology. I mean, it does, but very like it's very little to do with technology. But I think the future is exactly what Lynette said. It's a future, and when you want to do something that has to deal with your life's mission, it's got to be global. It's got to be big, and that's definitely a future, and that's definitely technology. And besides that, it's very scalable, because even in all my businesses that I've done, like real estate development, it's not scalable. Here, it doesn't matter where you sit. All you need is the internet connection and computer, and then the world is yours. That's going back to the actual position. Once you get certified, once you find your job, then it's one of these capabilities of being a tech person. You can be hired in different city, work from different state or country. And that's something that I think going to be more and more available, especially in this post-COVID era. So that's this remote work. Then as far as UX UI, when we chose this particular niche, is I would argue that it's one of these tech jobs that kind of relatively easy to learn. And that's also something that we want to start with, is the tech careers that doesn't require you all these crazy mathematical skills. It's pretty much that you can learn in 6 months, even with no experience. And that's how we position. Because we talk to a lot of folks that doesn't have any experience, no college degree, and we just, that's how we position. You don't have to have anything. All you need is your willingness to achieve a better life, and we provide you with the tools, and you don't have to have anything. So a relative ease to learn, that's another thing for some of the tech position, like UX, UI, digital designer. And I think that's mostly like these 3, 4, 5 reasons that why we chose that. And I think that now, after the year of being in this position, we think we've made the very right choice, and we're going to be expanding more in this tech careers by providing just more opportunities and more different niches, like front-end development, different coding positions, and more, just in general, more tech specialties to come for growth.
Gotcha. Yep. Same question, Shaniqua. The same question.
Yeah, really just piggybacking off Andrei and Lynette, as someone who's a millennial, and, I see the vast amounts of opportunities that are in tech. I've had friends who have gone from being corporate attorneys and, all kinds of things, and they were able to just switch gears. And, as I alluded to earlier about just the change of the landscape of the workforce with COVID, everything is tech. People need web designers. People need back-end program developers. Like, everything is around tech now. So, I just think that there is a need for that. And actually, studies show there's a ton of tech jobs and there's not enough people to fill them. Right. So, why not address that need and work with someone that can develop a program that will give people the opportunity?
Right, absolutely. And I listened to something this morning from McKinsey. They were interviewing a few people focused on the future of work, focused on a number of different industries, and all the panelists were talking about technology being at the center of it, art, technology being at the center of it, construction, technology being at the center of it, commercial cleaning, guess what? Technology being at the center of it, life science, guess what? Technology being at the center of it. So I think with this emphasis on technology and technology being the future, this is, again, a part of all of our DNA. The willingness of individuals to learn that, is at different levels, but the importance will still remain really high. So the importance of things changing, automation, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. The differences between, you know, folks who have degrees and don't have degrees, certifications, apprenticeships. We can go down the rabbit hole with this whole kind of like big concept of workforce development. I think, just my opinion, at the center of this is technology. You know, that is literally kind of like the spider in the middle of the spider's web type of situation. So I'd also like to kind of like transition into what we talked about during our introduction. And I lied at the very beginning. I said we had till about 5 o'clock. We have till 4:45. So this may or may not be the last question. So I definitely wanted to put this out there though. Companies from, you know, large companies to small companies are talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I just want to know from all of you kind of like what your personal definition is for DEI, what your organization's kind of viewpoints and very specific characteristics towards bringing all diverse types of folks from all different walks of life into a space where it's going to be advantageous for them to learn this very critical skill. So Andrei, let's start with you. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. What is that definition for you? What does that definition for you mean personally? And then for GROIC as an organization, what does DEI mean for GROIC as an organization?
So diversity and inclusion, I think that's exactly relates to the persona, and whoever explained that, they explained it from their standpoint, right? So my standpoint is just because it relates to me. I'm an immigrant, right? Yep. And I felt this all the way by going to Montgomery College, community college, and I've been rejected because basically I didn't have money. I had to work and provide my family, to where like up to today's date where I have some problems dealing with certain like business issues just because I'm immigrant, and you can feel this. You can feel this sometimes not attention, but just how people relate to you, and when they choose when to do business with you, when to not. So it's, to me, diversion, inclusion, and everything that has to do with equity has to do with this immigrant background that I'm coming from. So, and with that, the idea of growth, of course, relates somehow because you know, I'm the founder, I'm the CEO, I'm bringing the message. To me, it's again, it's all coming back to that mission of efficiency and affordability to everyone. You don't have to be from a rich family to get this to be accepted to this program, or you don't have to have like that much money from your parents, or you don't have to be most proficient in your networking and have, you know, access because you knew somebody. All of that doesn't matter. We pretty much require only one thing. It's your willingness to change your life and just get to something better at your life. And that's at the center. So I think, to me, the more we can bring to the world and explain to people that you actually doesn't have to have anybody's approval or any prerequisites. All you need is you and your willingness to go to the next step. And it's all up to you to get to this point in your life.
And I think sometimes that's underestimated. So the willingness for an individual to change, I think that people underestimate that very specific notion. Oh, are you willing to change? Yes. What do you do? Like, what are you willing to do to make that change? I'm willing to go through this 4-month program, this 6-month program to get reskilled, to get trained, to make sure that I have a better life, not only for me and my family, but, you know, for my society, for my neighbors, for the people around me, for the folks who affect me, for my mentors, for the people who taught me in school, all of the above. And I think that has a big impact, not only just on a DEI front, but just on like a personal front, where you're in a position where you're bettering yourself and you're continuing to move forward in a way with a growth mindset. Continuing to learn is extremely important. And again, technology is at the center of that. But let's move on to Shaniqua. DEI, what does that mean to you personally, what does that mean for access to education?
Yeah, honestly, I'm straightforward. I think DEI just means equal opportunity for everyone, regardless of gender, economic background, social circles, etc. And I think for access to education, that's what we promote. We really want our students to be of all ages, of all different racial backgrounds, whether you can afford this tuition or not, regardless, this is an opportunity that we want to provide free of cost. We have people who are college educated. We have people who may not even have completed a GED. I think that the basis of our mission and what we do is DEI. We want to be able to provide people with this education that will help them survive in today's society and be able to receive a fruitful salary, regardless of where they come from, as long as they're willing to commit to learn the skill. And I think that, oftentimes the world we live in, so much is dictated by class, the Yales of the world and the Jack and Jill societies, et cetera, things like that. And I think that organizations like Access Ed really try to address that and diversify the workforce.
Absolutely. Lynette, same question. You're just coming from UConn. I know when I went into New England for school, because I went to Massachusetts for school, I was warned about just be frank. I was warned about racism. I was warned about a lot of different things in the New England area. And I personally, in like the Springfield, Massachusetts area, never encountered it. But I'd love to learn just from you what your kind of like personal definition is of DEI. How do you view that as a tool or a pathway for yourself in your career development?
So I've been lucky. I never really had any big encounters with racism. I don't have big stories for that, but it means a lot to me that there are people that are working to educate everybody. Yeah. Because now I am a college graduate, but I felt the gap when I was in high school. My mother was a single mother working at Subway to try and feed 3 kids. And I went to a school where like they didn't have enough books. And some of my teachers had a degree in a different field than what they were teaching. Because they didn't have enough people to teach all the subjects. And when I got to school, I ran into people who already knew fancy programs and had taken classes and stuff. And that on top of paying my way through school was very stressful for me. And I know that I was lucky that I did end up getting the opportunity to graduate, but I also personally knew many, many people that could not go because they couldn't afford it.
Right.
And even now I'm graduating with like hefty amounts of debt.
Yeah.
So the fact that there are people working to educate everybody and to make it accessible to everybody, just anybody with the will, is huge, because I know that there are so many more people that want to be educated and that want to be successful than there are people that actually can. Absolutely.
So I feel like we can have this conversation for another half hour. I know we are coming up towards the end of our time. For folks who are joining us in the audience, if you have questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Let's just give a few seconds for that. But what I like for kind of like our panelists to think about in the next few moments while we wait for questions is just kind of like final thoughts on some of the things we've been talking about. A sentence or two on just, the importance of the work that you're doing, your personal kind of viewpoint on why this is, critical in today's society, why this is critical for the region, economic development, workforce development, all of those really important things. So let's give like maybe 10 seconds. I don't see anything in the chat yet, but for the folks that are here, our very intimate group, if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask away. Not seeing anyone come off mute. Let's go with final thoughts. Andrei, final thoughts about our discussion this afternoon.
Yeah, so again, this is, I said that this is a life's mission, right? So it's not just like a one-day conversation. This is, to me, it's a life's goal, life's mission, and something that I probably going to be doing, I would like to do to the rest of my life. And that's empower other people, because I'm 39 years old. Like, I think, I'm financially set, and I'm not even concerned about these things anymore. Now, to me, when you reach certain threshold, like 40 years, 45, you're thinking, why? What's your why, right? Like, besides, of course, some other things like family and friends, like, what's your why? So I think this is my why. This is my mission to get these opportunities open to the world. I think Growing is a perfect tool, and I think that's just the start of the journey. We are at the very, very beginning of our future of the Growing, and future of people who would be involved in Growing in any capacities. It doesn't matter if it's instructional designers, our mentors, instructors, career developers, or just students. I'm just excited to be part of Growing. I'm excited for those who will be there as students, and to just watch people like Lynette saying that it helps you in any ways, and that's what makes your day better in the end of the day, because you feel that and you see that what you do, it just helps somebody to get better. And as just want to finish with Lynette again. It's not that many people here, but we try to promote as many people, including Lynette and her resumes, and to get these people actually hired. And I think the problem for us is that all the hiring managers that we encountered is either we would like to see more of the interest and feedback when you go and actually promote and try to place students in the actual job roles. So I think I would kind of like to wrap up with the challenge that we have to overcome, but I think we'll make it happen, not only for Lynette, but for so many other students that we currently have or will have in the future, to try to accomplish our goal. And this is to empower and to get them to find their best life they could.
Excellent, excellent. Lynette, final thought.
Let's see. I just wanted to say I appreciate it, and I meant what I said. It's a great opportunity for me. I look forward to graduating from the program and where it can take me.
Awesome, beautiful.
Very short and sweet.
Yep, beautiful. Shaniqua, final thought.
Yeah, I just want to say tonight was great, this evening, as we kind of all come together and build sort of a think tank around it. But hoping to see more people who care about getting people educated and getting them trained and getting them out there. Feel free to visit our website or shoot me an email. We'll find a way to connect. We want to get more people trained and get them into more jobs.
That's what I like to hear. As a fellow workforce development person, yes, is what I have to say to that. So this has been What's the Next Move? Tech Talent Go. Thank you for joining us.